Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Little Chapel of Faith. My name is Tina. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. We have platforms on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. If you're on any of those or all of those, please like, subscribe, and share. We are on the Imitation of Christ, Book 3, Chapter 7. Hopefully I can read it through without my eyes giving out on me, but we'll see what happens. Give myself a little something so I can read one line instead of the... Sometimes if there's more than one line seen, then they all sort of mash together, and that's the problem with my eyes until these cataracts can be gone, but we will forge through. How grace is to be kept close through the virtue of humility. Christ, my child, it is better and safer for you to hide the grace of devotion. Do not speak much about it, nor think much about it, but rather belittle yourself more because of it, regarding yourself as unworthy of so gracious a gift from God. Do not depend too much on such a feeling of devotion, which can quickly change into the opposite. When you have this great gift, think of how wretched and poor you are without it. Progress in the spiritual life does not consist of having the grace of devotion, but rather in bearing the withdrawal and the absence of it humbly and patiently, without ceasing to pray or leaving your accustomed good works undone. Do the best you can according to your ability. Attend to your soul, and do not be negligent in your duties because of dryness or mental anxiety you may feel. For there are many people who, when things do not go well for them, soon become impatient or lazy, so set themselves back. Our life is not always ours to control. It is for God to dispose, that is, He wills to give comfort when He wills as much as He wills, and to whom He wills, and no more. Some imprudent people, through an indiscreet desire to have the grace of devotion, have damaged themselves, for they wished to be more than they were able. Not taking into account the limit of their gift or their own weakness, they choose to follow their inclinations rather than good judgment, and because they presume to undertake more than was pleasing to God, they soon lose the grace they already had. They are left poor and abandoned, for they thought they had built a nest in the heaven for themselves. In this way they were taught not to rely on their own strength, but humbly to trust in God and His goodness. Beginners and those inexperienced in the way of the Lord may easily fall into the error and be deceived unless they seek counsel of the wise. But if they choose to follow their own judgment and refuse to be dissuaded from it, rather than take the advice of those more experienced, their end will be endangered. Seldom are the wise in their own estimation humble enough to allow others to guide them. Therefore, it is better to have a little learning with humility than great learning with self-complacency. It is better to have a little learning with grace than much learning which fills you with pride. Those persons who are indiscreet, who give themselves over to joy, forgetting their former desolation and the humble fear of God, which fears to lose the grace that was offered, they also are far from being virtuous, who in a time of trouble or adversity give themselves up to despondency, and do not place their confidence in me as they ought. They who feel too secure in time of peace become dejected and fearful in the time of conflict and temptation. If only you could remain humble and little in your own opinion and keep the motions of your soul under control, you would not quickly fall into presumption or despair. When you receive the gift of fervor, it is wise to consider how you will act when that fervor is withdrawn. Then when this happens, think that it may soon return to you, which is for my glory and your warning. I have withdrawn from you your time. When I put it to the test, it is more profitable for you than always to have things go according to your will. The merits of persons are not likely to be esteemed just because such persons have many visions or spiritual consolations, or because they are well versed in Scripture, nor even by their being in a more elevated position. But if they are firmly grounded in humility and filled with charity, if they seek purely the worship of God, looking upon themselves as nothing and sincerely despising themselves, and if they desire to be despised by others when they may really hope that they have advanced spiritually, Then in the end, they will have the reward of God for all their labor. And that is the Imitation of Christ. I will post the overview of it as well at some point today. And we will be back with the readings from the Diary of St. Faustina. Until then, be well, be safe. God bless us all.